Hello, my name is Javier, punk-o-matic's music reviewer, and welcome to the Prime Probe. Today, we'll be running our list of the top 10 punk-o-matic artists ever. The three of us have made our list based mostly on our personal enjoyments of the artists presented here today. So know that this is not a list that will be judged on chart records or fan base. To start us off on our number 10 spot is Randomdude, a punk-o-matic genius in his own right. His body of work boasts a lot of solid, creative, and off-the-wall ideas. Underrated somehow, perhaps because he doesn't really use the quick chat or the forums, but his songs make up for that. They've got a sense of overwhelming happiness to them, and the times when he switches that up are even a little better. Not all of his tunes may have that X factor, but they don't need it. Randomdude is the kind of artist that you want blasting out of your speakers when you're feeling down and you need a little pat on the back and you still wish to get that fulfillment out of composition in the meanwhile. Number 10, therefore, is an appropriate spot for our random friend. At our number 9 spot is Plug. Plug has the right amount of energy, juicy riffs, creativity, and, well, much more comes to mind when thinking about Plug's music. It's got that edge that makes you hunger for more right as the last note sounds, so you hit replay repeatedly to satisfy that craving. Her tunes may not always be epic, daring, or astonishing, but they sure as hell are solid. I have no idea how she does it at all. It's maybe only 10 songs that put her on this list, but what songs? And now for our number 8 spot, Kaff. Kaff / Bass God / Keith and the Willies' body of work contains some odd, though great, tunes. More often than not, they seem to be composed in a more classical style, which is a bold move considering punk-o-matic 2's limitations. However, this does kind of result in the tunes requiring a specific mood and / or multiple listens in order to be appreciated to their fullest, not to mention a certain musical maturity. Nonetheless, his works are true prog much of the time, but what he recognizes is that prog isn't just about 7/4 time signatures and shifting keys. It's about taking the listener on a journey that you wouldn't get from any other form of music, and he consistently pulls that off. For our 7th spot, we have Chester, Master of Manuals. That should be Chester's title. This man's body of work boasts tunes with chord chains that keep you guessing and excited until the very end. And seeing as how punk-o-matic 2 is borderline exhausted, that is quite the achievement. What is also worth mentioning is that this good man's work is quite accessible. Its complexity never overshadows the factor of listenableness, that's a word now, which is an impressive feat. Although his works are not mind-boggling enough to receive a higher spot on this list, he is a brilliant artist. I feel like people recognize that Chester is brilliant and then almost ignore him. Can I remind you that he's brilliant? He's brilliant. Okay, done. He writes songs that break all the rules of what we all know make a good punk-o-matic song, and then makes better ones because of it. Lots of people claim to do that really, but Chester is the only one who knows how to pull it off, and he doesn't even think about it, let alone tell everybody how great that is. So that's why we're here to do it for him. And now for our 6th entry, Uzati 223. This one was an entry that we felt pretty divided on, what with having him as the number 1 spot on somebody's list, while having him as the last on somebody else's. Uzati is quite something. He's able to make metal, hard rock, and alternative songs of a complexity and melodic quality that is pretty unique on punk-o-matic 2. He's one of the only punk-o-maticers that does punk-o-matic metal right. His songs are consistent in quality and heaviness and show high degrees of creativity. Once he learns to rein in the tendency of his to stuff every square with a new idea occasionally and is able to clean it up a tad, he'll be higher on this list for sure. And now for our 5th spot, punk-o-matic's master of prog, Varangian. One of the most consistent punk-o-maticers in terms of song production and quality ever, Varangian's work always buzzes with an abundance of highly complex twists and turns. Are they always successful? Well, no. Sometimes things do turn out rather odd or chaotic, especially in regards to drumming in his earlier works. However, that is a risk, an admirable one at that comes with taking a progressive approach into songwriting. it is exactly that daringness that earns him this spot on our top 5. And now for our 4th spot, TraceOfHatred. Possibly the most influential punk-o-matic artist of all time. His profile says he sometimes spends 3 hours on getting 1 square of music sheet right, and it shows. He changed the game really and added both a new complexity and a new emotion that no one thought possible into punk-o-matic music. Trace is a legend in his own right, as are his creations. Despite the age of some of them, they hold up quite well. The drum work is always tight, special usage is special, and the chords emanate pure, unadulterated emotions. However, at the same time, the ever-present emo-ish tone of a lot of his songs has gotten a bit stale, which is the main reason why he occupies this spot in the top 10. For number 3 spot, we have Tomashevski. Tomashevski is a peculiar artist, which is something I say in the most positive way possible. His works are always bursting with creativity. No 2 songs of his are ever sounding the same. Most notable about his songs is probably the special usage. Tomashevski manages to deliver some of the smoothest special chains this site and the community has ever seen. He's almost working in his own world, away from everyone else. Thomas's special usage is just on another planet, certainly, and with his most recent songs, he seems to be moving in every direction at once. C for Gabriella follows the whole of the Anna album with its heart-wrenching emotion, medals and feels, somehow makes ska riffs fit perfectly into a dark hard rock song, and so on. And he pulls all of this off perfectly. Our number 2 spot is Hazaman. This fine British gentleman is one I dare to call the master of melodies. Especially in some of his later works, he has pulled off harmonies delicate enough to cause multiple musical orgasms.
They rather tickle my fancy, as they say.
It's really his 2014 stuff that puts him here. He came back to punk-o-maticing early last year after a year of not doing so, and although he had things like That Bitter Taste,
my personal favorite punk-o-matic song of all time, by the way,
beforehand, that established him as a very good punk-o-matic composer. He blew 2014 out of the water completely. Enjoyably punky, but with a mastery of the game that goes beyond the 3 chords of your usual punk-o-matic cliche. The main reason why he doesn't get the top spot on this list is because sometimes the wow factor is a little bit lacking. That is not to say that those particular songs are bad because of it. Far from it, actually. However, the artist that does take the first spot on this list does manage to consistently reach said factor. Now, before we get to the best punk-o-matic artist ever, I just want to take a moment to present an artist that, although he was not able to make it onto our top 10 list, deserves a special shout out. With over 160 brilliant songs under his belt and ranking as #1 in the site's XP rankings, Komorga is this list's honorable mention. We love you, Komorga. And at our #1 spot is Rodin. He won't like being here perhaps, but the quality of ideas coming out into his songs, frequency of those ideas, within his songs at least, and his way of making them all fit together, throws him to the top of this list for sure. Consistently fantastic, if not fantastically consistent at the moment. Quite creative in his songs, and not to mention daring. He often takes the less than convenient routes with his tunes, which is admirable. Some of his tunes are a bit too odd, for the lack of a better word, to thoroughly enjoy, but these are few and far in between. His song quality is usually quite on the high side. Always pushing the boundaries of punk-o-matic music in a beautiful yet jolly weird manner that the site always hungers for. Rodin/Lost 1010 undeniably deserves our pick for the title of the best punk-o-matic artist ever. And that's our list. What did you think of it? Do you think we missed anybody? Who would be on your top 10 list? Let us know in the commenting space thingy around somewhere around this video, and thank you for watching. Really. Thank you.